Let's create a fun fold like nothing else. This is what I'm kind of calling my standing box card. I love that we have this additional panel inside our card. Yes, it's going to display beautifully. Friends, this card could not be any easier, but it is going to knock the socks off of the recipient. Let's jump in and learn how to create these standing box cards. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm thrilled that you're joining me today to learn how to create these really fun standing box cards. And what's even better, today's card is a one-sheet wonder. It's going to take one sheet to create the base of the card. It goes together very quickly. I've got lots of tips and tricks. So let's jump in and start to create the cards. All right, we're going to start with this card here. And something I want you to know about this card is that it will fit into a medium-sized envelope. It's going to mail beautifully. We love that, right? And when the recipient gets it, it's going to be very easy for them to see that the card pops, stands, you've got a place to write your message. It's really a lot of fun. So let's talk about the supplies that you need. But I do want you to know there is a free diagram or a free download that goes along with today's video. So guys, no need to write down any of the measurements. I've done all that for you. In your download, you're going to have the supply list for both cards, the measurements, photos, and I've even got a QR code so you can head back over here if you need a little refresher on how to make the card. Also with that download is a complete image supply list. And friends, if you're in the United States, did you know that all you need to do is click that graphic or follow that link and it'll take you right to my online store. And there you can order any of the supplies that I used. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I truly appreciate your support of the channel. With that, we're going to jump in. So as I said, it is a one-sheet wonder card. So this card is going to be created with one sheet of 8.5 by 11 Granny Apple Green. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut your cardstock in half. So with the 11 inches at the top, cut it in half at 5.5 inches. You're going to take one of those and you're going to score it at 4.25. So that's going to create just a standard medium-sized card base. But with our other piece of cardstock, I'm going to have you trim off 1/4 inch. So it is actually going to be 5.5 by 8.25 inch. All right. So that is really important to remember to cut off that 1/4 inch. Let's do a little scoring. I'm going to use my Simply Scored board, but you guys, you can use your scoring blade on your paper trimmer. It's fine. Again, check to make sure that you've cut that down to the 8.25, and I can see that I have. We are going to score this at 1/2 inch, 1.25, 2 inches, and 2.75. Now we're going to rotate that all the way around, and we're going to repeat that again. So again, that was 1/2 inch, 1.25, 2, and 2.75. That's what's going to create that pop-out box. So you can see you have 1/2 inch here, and then you have 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch on the end, and then 3/4 inch. On those end pieces, if you will just miter, and you can see I'm just mitering from the score line, just kind of taking off just a little bit of this bulk. It's just going to make these little boxes on the side. They'll go together just a little bit easier. All right, I can bring in my bone folder, and we are going to crease all of our score lines, and I want them all to go towards the inside. So we'll give these a fold. And now we can get the opposite end. So let's use some adhesive. You're going to want something pretty strong. So you can use either your multi-purpose glue or your tear and tape, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and use multi-purpose glue today. And the glue is going to go on the little 1/2 inch tabs, the ones that we mitered. So we'll just add a little glue here. I'm going to rotate it around, and I'm going to get this other side. And this is so easy. So I want you to see, I've just got 2 of the score lines. You can see there's 1 line and 2. Ready? We're going to fold that over. We're going to give it a press. We're going to take this one, we're going to fold it over and give it a press. And that is going to ensure that those line up perfectly. All right. So that's the beginning of our box. Guess what? We're ready to add this to the front of the card base. And I've got more tips to share with you to make this easy. So you can see there's our box. I want you to fold it all the way over to one side. Either side is fine, but we want all those tabs. You should have a little 1/2 inch section right there in the middle. So we can see that. And we're going to be adding the adhesive right here. If you're not sure, just kind of fold it back into a box. It's these tabs that are going to stick to the card front. So if you're not sure, that's usually the best way, just to make sure you're doing it correctly. All right. So we're going to add some multi-purpose glue to those panels that are going to adhere down, and the panel that has the folded end. Okay. We want to line that up with the left side of the box. Okay. So you see, this is the one that's kind of sticking out. That's what it should be doing. Let's adhere that down. Give that a nice little back rub. Give that glue a chance to stick. And there we go. All right. So now you can see that's all there is to making the box and the card. So easy, right? Okay. Now let's have some fun, and we're going to start to decorate. So for my card today, we're going to focus on some adorable ducks. I love ducks. I've got ducks in my pond in my backyard, and so that's why this has just been one of my favorite sets. Charming Duck Pond, Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper, and my ink pads today, Flirty Flamingo and Smoky Slate. Let's do some cutting on our designer series paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to cut this section with the ducks, and it needs to be 2 3/4 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this one end. I'm going to do the right end, and I'm going to cut it off at 1 inch. Save this. I'm going to use it. Let me flip this around, and I'm going to cut now at 2 3/4 inch. So that is my focal point for the box, but it's a little bit long because my card's only 5.5 inches. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to cut off of the top on this. All right. We're going to cut that down to 5.5. So that little scrap we're done with. This piece here, I'm going to set off to the side so we can work with these remaining 2 pieces. Now, I could just use this one here if I wanted, because I need to cut down 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 5.5. So tell you what, let's go ahead and get this cut down to 5.5. All right. I'm going to cut from the bottom this time because I loved these little leaves. So I'm going to set that right there at the 1/2 inch mark on either side, slice, and that's going to give me this great little decor here on the sides of my box. So to put our card together, I'm going to just lightly add some adhesive, some multi-purpose glue here on the box. You can see this is going to adhere right on top. Get that where it's lined up perfectly on each side. If you need to lay it flat so you can give it its little back rub, feel free. But that's going to fill in that space there. Now with these 2 pieces, I am simply just going to doll up the sides just to give it a little something. And I really liked the look of that extra greenery. So you use your designer series paper however you want to do it. Stick around for my other card because I've got other options if you're not using designer series paper. Time to do some stamping. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in my 2 ink pads, Flirty Flamingo and Smoky Slate. I've got a couple pieces of basic white cardstock. So this is for the greeting on the front, the hello friend. This is a scrap, but you need something maybe about 2 by 3. And then this is for the inside of my card. Again, basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. All right, we're going to start with our Smoky Slate. We're going to stamp our ducks. Now, there are 3 ducks in this stamp set. We're going to focus on 2, and I'm going to stamp 1 duck here in Smoky Slate, and then the little baby duck, because I think she's adorable. And we will add her just right here next to her. Now, this is also a two-step stamp, which means we can add our color simply by stamping with the two-step. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually want it to match a little bit with the ducks that are here on the front of my card. So I'm going to do this in Smoky Slate, and I'm going to stamp off once. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got just a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to ink up the inside of the duck, and I'm going to stamp off once. Now you can kind of see what that's going to look like. And you can line this up right inside that duck. We're going to give it a press, and what we're going to get, you see how we get this light, this very light Smoky Slate. I think it looks so sweet. By the way, we have another one here, an inside for my little baby duck. So we'll stamp off once, and then we'll stamp there inside our duck. Now, when you're ready to add the beak and the feet, guess what? It's been done for us. It's great. So we're going to take a little flirty flamingo. You're going to love this part of this stamp set. So you look at this and you go, Connie, what is that? Well, this is what's going to give us, at one time, we're going to stamp their bill or their beak and their feet at the same time. So this will just line up right inside there. Boom, stamped, done. I love it. And yes, we have one for the baby as well. Now, you got to get a little close for this one. So let's see if I can see past my camera. How did I do? Hey, not too bad. All right. Now, while I've got this out, while I've got that flirty flamingo out, let's stamp a sentiment here on the inside. And we're simply going to say, you make me happy. Now, you've got a few different sentiments here, but I'm going to use the hello friend for mine. We're going to stamp hello friend right here on that little scrap of the basic white. And with a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, we're going to center up that greeting and give it a punch. Now, in your notes, you're going to see you're also going to need a 2-inch circle punch from Flirty Flamingo. And I went ahead and did that in advance because, again, it's just a great way to use up some scrap. So I'm going to put a little bit of multi-purpose glue on my greeting, and I'm going to adhere it off center of that Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to bring in my card, and let me show you how we're going to add this. You're going to bring this all the way over to the right. All right. I want this to hang off a little bit. If I do it this way, I got a problem, right? Because now I can't fit it in an envelope. So you're going to put it all the way over to the right. And I can see I only want adhesive right here on this side. Okay. I'm going to add that right up here at the top. Give that a nice little press, and see, it hangs off, but when I mail it, it's going to be just fine. Now, guess what we're going to do now? We're just simply going to add the inside. This is where we will write our message. We're going to add that to the inside of the card. And just like that, my friends, your card is done and ready to mail. Isn't that a great, quick card? I mean, just think, you could have those bases. All those bases could be ready to go. And all you have to do is add your designer series paper and the inside for your message. It really is that easy. Let me share one more card with you. But before I do, I just want to give one more shameless plug to your free download. Guys, I love to make your card making super easy. When you save or print these downloads, everything that you're going to need to recreate the card is right there at your fingertips. Remember, you can always click or scan the QR code to come back and watch the video again. And you're going to have the photo, so you'll always know what card goes where. With that, just remember, you can find it at simplysimplestamping.com, or just look down in the YouTube description. I've got a direct link for you. This card definitely made me happy. I hope you can see we use some specialty designer series paper. This is all from the Wildflower Birthday Specialty Designer Series paper. All of these images that I used here, no stamping except for my happy birthday, but all of these images are punch outs that come with that designer series paper. So I had a blast just creating with the items that were right there. You just did a quick little punch. It just came right out. super easy. And what I wanted to show you here is how I decorated the sides, because I decided to do something a little bit different with this card. Now, real quick, my card base is in Pool Party. So you remember the drill. We had our card base. That was the 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And then we had our 8.25 by 5.5, scored at 1/2 inch, 1.25, 2-inch, and 2 3/4. And then we repeated that. Remember, we did that on the opposite side. Remember, our glue went on those 1/2 inch tabs, and we simply fold those in half, adhere that down, and now we're ready to add it to our card. Remember how we fold the box all the way down? We can easily see this is where our adhesive goes. Fold the box to the left, lay that right here on your card base. I'm going to take some of the, it's got just a nice little scallop on it, some gold foil, really stunning designer series paper that will just go right here on the front of the box. But instead of designer series paper, I wanted to bring in a little more color. So you can see what I've got going on here. I did something a little interesting with an embossing folder. So I have 2 pieces of bubble bath cardstock, 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. My embossing folder, this is the herringbone, or the modern herringbone embossing folder. Now you are going to have to do this twice, but I loved the look of the center of that folder. And I thought, oh, that's just going to give a really great look to my card rather than just plain cardstock. So you're going to line that up from side to side. We're going to take base plate 1, add your embossing folder, and you want the seam towards the front. And now I have embossing plate 4, the gray plate. We're going to run that through, and look at that. Isn't that just a gorgeous look? All right, I'm going to repeat that with the remaining piece of 1/2 by 5.5 inch bubble bath. I've added multi-purpose glue to those pieces, and you can see how you can just fold the box down, center it up from side to side. When you're adhering these, you do want to make sure you're putting them both going in the same direction. So take just a second and make sure you know what direction your those little scallops are going. We want them to go the same. So there we have that. Now let me show you how I went about decorating. I said there are all these great little cutouts that come in this set. I actually just ended up having to cut a lot of them out because, or I shouldn't even say cut, because I want you to see they literally fall right out. Okay. They're just ready to go. That's how easy these are to use. But they are delicate, right? And so I just kind of punched and pulled all those out and just stuck them in a clear envelope so I wouldn't have to worry about losing any of them, because they're beautiful and precious and I didn't want to lose track of them. So you can see I added a cake. I took one of the streamers and I simply cut it into thirds. So I adhered this one here and I snipped away. I used the other 2 pieces here. Why not? I have that great cake on the front. I added just a cupcake at the bottom. And my sentiment, well, I needed a really tiny happy birthday. So I found this one in the Keeping Tabs stamp set, and it was perfect, absolutely perfect to just stamp right there. Gorgeous card, great for any birthday, no matter what the age. This card's going to be a hit. Let me go ahead and bring in my adorable little duck friends and let you kind of see those again. Like I said, it's just such a unique card. We love that these cards will be able to stand. They're just going to flip out when they see these cards just pop. Remember, they do fit into a medium-sized envelope, so you can easily mail these cards too. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that you like that video and that card design. If you did, do me a favor. A little thumbs up on YouTube means the world to me. It helps me know that you enjoy those types of fun folds. So let me know with that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, oh my goodness, you need to subscribe today. Just click that subscribe button. And if you ring the bell, YouTube will notify you whenever I'm back with a new video. And I share twice a week here on the channel. I'd love to have you join us. Well, my friends, that's all for me. Thank you again for being here. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.